Hey guys, welcome to Devlog 3. So yes, 2 months ago was my last devlog, and it wasn't just this guy that made it take so long. It was also this video. Anyway, in Devlog 1 I said I wanted to improve combat, and what I really meant is I want to make the game more fun, so here it is. So the first thing I wanted to do was to make the player controller into a state manager, because I was really getting sick of having to write code like if key down and is not falling and is not attacking and is not jumping and is not running. Anyway, you get the point. So essentially I just split my player controller code into states, and now only certain states can be entered while in certain states. Anyway, you get it. It honestly just really helps with fixing bugs and not needing so many if statements. Now currently the player's movement is pretty basic. We have a jog, running, jumping and dodge roll. I wanted to add one more feature, and I was thinking climbing or grappling over edges, but I wanted this game to feel more like a platformer, so I decided to give the player a double jump. And of course I made this feature use stamina so the player doesn't just spam this ability. Okay, so currently in the game players can just sit back and spam arrows. But I wanted to encourage players to move around the map and to make every arrow count, so I gave the player a max of 10 arrows, and players can now pick up arrows that have been shot. So this is what it looks like, and also arrows regenerate slowly, as you can see on the bottom right of your screen. So what I think makes every game fun is having multiple ways to play the game. So my plan was to scratch the idea of just having a melee attack and create a sword and shield state, and in this state the player would be able to, of course, attack with a sword, bash enemies and block attacks with a shield. So the first step was to create the sword and shield. Now since I recently started learning to hand paint models, I definitely spent way longer than needed making these. But anyway, I got them into the game, gave him an idle animation, and this is what it looks like. So next I worked on the sword attack, and I planned to create 4 attack animations, which was just a left, right, up and down sword swing. I must have spent easily 2 hours just messing around with these animations, and I think it was just a matter of finding the right balance between pausing for effect and fluid motion. Also let me know in the comments if you prefer just horizontal swings or you like the additional vertical swings. So while I was testing, I noticed that it felt a bit annoying not being able to do a downwards attack while you're in the air. So I of course had to add this, and I made it do more damage than normal attacks. So now the players can do cool stuff like do a double jump and then do a downwards attack. So next I added the ability to block, and to counter players that are just holding block I added a bash, which will break the player's block and put the player in a stunned state. Now many games have some form of tab target that often assists the player in some way, so I added a targeting mode to my game, and the main thing it does is auto adjust the player's distance to ensure the hit lands. So this is what it looks like in testing, and I also added damage text and action text because, well, who doesn't like more hit confirmation. I also took a quick break from developing and made a Steam page for the game. So yeah, if you like the look of the game, you can now go ahead and wishlist it on Steam. It took me just over a week to complete all these features, which I thought was the hard part, but then I spent another 2 weeks just networking these features. But anyway, once I finally played the game with my brother, I realized that there was one more feature I wanted to add, and essentially it is just like a reload but for stamina, which I'm for now calling stamina surging. And the plan was to have the pattern appear on the screen, and once the player completes the pattern, they will restore stamina. So the first thing to do was to create a line to go between 2 points. Now the only way to use Unity's line renderer on the canvas was to use 2 cameras. And well, I thought that seemed kinda silly, and I thought, you know, how hard can it be to code a line with a mesh renderer? But I was definitely wrong. It took me around 3 hours to create a line that just follows the mouse position. Anyway, after that I gave the points arrows and then made them look at the next point, so the player can clearly see how to complete the pattern. Next I created this surging animation, which may be a little inspired by Thor, but anyway, then I created some effects and I added some sounds. And this is the final result, which I'm pretty happy with. So after I hand painted a texture for my character, I also hand painted all my weapons. And as you can see here, this is the main menu with the new textured weapons, which I think looks a lot better than before. So that's all the main combat features completed, and I'm honestly pretty happy with how combat looks, but I definitely think I need to do some tweaking to the actual PvP melee combat, because at the moment hits don't feel that satisfying, and the gameplay just doesn't feel that clean. Maybe I need to add some more stun time, or maybe I need less, or maybe I need to change some sound effects, or maybe I need to change the attack speed, but that's for the next video, and I'm pretty sure my main game mechanics are not going to change now. But anyway, here's some gameplay of me and my brother just testing the game. Thanks so much for watching guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you like the look of this game, don't forget to wishlist on Steam.